You gonna wave when we're ready? I'm gonna hit that lens someday. Hey everybody! Whoa! What day is this?
Festool Friday.
It's Friday! Happy Festool Friday! It's 12 noon, and we're ready for what? Festool Live. So, what you guys been up to? Just kidding, let's get going. We got one heck of a day. Okay, mute that, because I don't want to hear me. That's creepy when I can hear my own voice, Garrett. Okay, so let's call out the room really quick. Over here we got Big D. He's on the board today.
Hey,
Behind the camera we got Chris, the unit cyber. He's our camera dude. We have Brent Shively online. He's going to answer all your questions today that he can. And also, he's the star of the Build with Brent series on YouTube. Around the corner, we have Mr. Garrett Sato. He will be writing where you're from on the back. And over here, we have one of our colleagues, Janina from Germany. She decided to sit in and say hi and watch me make all my mistakes. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, we got new camera stuff today. We got new microphones. Big D, it's all coming through smooth. Man, so that's really important because you guys got to tune in next week because we're going to be live from Providence, Rhode Island at 12 noon next Friday at the United States Tool and Fastener booth at the Journal of Light Construction show. Oh my God, that just took me a half hour to say all of that. But be prepared because we got a great live already planned for their booth, and it's going to be one heck of a Festool Live, and there's going to be a lot of people walking around that I can introduce you to, and it's going to be fun. Okay, now the other big hit, it dropped yesterday. And I'm hoping you've already started to go on the My Festool website because it's really important. We are giving away 20 top rocks. So you got to sign up for My Festool. You can see the details on festoolusa.com and festoolcanada.com. Big D, did I get that correct?
Yeah.
He's not listening to me anymore. He's busy with the board.
People are saying the sound is choppy. The
sound is choppy? Okay, I'm sorry about the sound. Sorry it's choppy. Maybe it's me being choppy. I don't know. Okay, so now this is, should I just keep going?
Yep.
Okay, this is episode number 88, okay? And it's important because last week, if you remember what we covered the new TS55 FEQ and all the new blades, because that's what's really important, that 1.8 millimeter kerf. The new riving knife, that's 1.8 millimeter, okay? And everybody saw, or I actually felt it. I did a demonstration in the warehouse and I had people ripping plywood last week. It is a significant difference in the blade geometry. It's 2.2 millimeters, it went down to 1.8. Okay, so there's your quick review of last week's live. Now, the other exciting part is the new accessories and consumables for the FS Guide Rail. And that is being released here in the States and in Canada, March 25th. Okay, so I'm going to take my time today and step through it. I'm going to show you what we innovated with it. Okay, so there's sometimes I'm going to show you during the course of this the old version versus the new version. And when I always say this, Festool will never stop making the products that you guys and gals purchase better. We always stay ahead of the curve and make sure we listen to you and we make things better. Okay, so are we doing good still?
We're doing good.
Okay, so let's start. I'm just going to take this out. This is the new FS Guide Rail system. It comes with a new angle unit. It comes with 2 clamps. It comes with the new connectors. I have them sitting over here. It comes with a new deflector. It comes with a limit stop. We'll be using all of this today, and I did say it comes with 2 clamps. Now the other important part, it comes with this $300 hex key, so don't lose it. Okay, but you can see that that's 5 millimeter and that's turned down to 3 millimeter, and there's a reason for that, and I'm going to set it right here. Okay, so Let's start first with the simple stuff, and it's simple and it may not be simple, but one of the things we've always seen when someone's using a deflector, well, let me define deflector. It is basically a channel to keep your hose and cord in line, and this is the older version, okay? So when you were using your track saw before, okay, and you would start it, oops, sorry, Chris.
You're fine.
Okay, you see how that's a channel? But what always happens? It used to happen to me so many daggone times. I would start like this, and the cord would get caught in that channel. So we listened to you, and here is the new deflector. It goes right in here, and you see how it covers up that other notch right there? That outside rib. So, and these horns are a little bit higher, so now you have a perfect channel for your cord and your hose when you're using your track saw or your router. Okay, so there you go. Boy, I'm gonna tell you something. That's the end of episode 88. I'm just kidding. Wow, that was a quick one. Okay, now, hopefully you understand the old versus new. Good, that's the deflector. Now these are the new connectors. And what's really important is I want you to understand this. I don't want to say this is a no-brainer, but this is the first one. See where it says 1? That's the first one you put in, and this is the second one. Do you know how you know? That says 1 and that says 2. That 3mm hex that's turned down off that 5mm fits right in there so you can connect rails. Also notice this. These 3mm hexes that go on this rib here act like a stiffener. This one is your alignment one, and what happens is when you turn those 3mm hexes, it spreads out. Okay, so stop there. Let's look at the old ones. When I used to teach people how to put these in, they had these slotted screws. You put one up top, and you put one on the bottom. You tighten 2 screws here, 2 screws here, and you push them together. Okay, now, you always leave a little bit of space in there. Sometimes people ask how big a space. I usually take a business card, fold it in half. Okay, and then what you do, you and this is the trick I learned when I first came to Festool. How do you get these to align? It doesn't matter if this back one aligns. And sometimes I would teach people, hey, you put a straight edge here. But sometimes people think a straight edge is a 2x4. Okay? So you want this rib to align absolutely perfect. So that's why I would use this track saw here, put it in, and tighten the 2 knobs. So guess what? It's a no-brainer that would bring that rib together. See? And then what I would do is I would tighten the 2 screws. I turn it over and tighten those 2 screws. Well, that's what this does, the new one. And I'll show you. I'm just going to take this apart. I'm going to take, by the way, to take out the slotted screws, you must use a Festool screwdriver. Hey, Mo! And I'm just going to take this out. There you go. Take that out. Flip it over. Take that out. Take that out. Okay, so let's get rid of those. Let's start fresh with the new ones. You don't need the track saw, because what this does is what I just did with the track saw. It aligns these 2. That's why it says 1. So you start by flipping it over, taking 2 of them, and look, see that little line right there? I put that right there. And then I take a 3mm hex. I just like using these T's. And I'm just going to tighten it up. It just makes it a little bit quicker. Okay, and what that does is that's spreading that out. So it locks in, it doesn't damage the rail at all. Lock it in like this, and then I take it, and I still put a very small space in there like this. Okay, and then I tighten it up. That brings that rib in absolutely perfect alignment. And I know I'm doing a halfway decent job because I look over at Big D and he's nodding. Okay, so this is number 2, and you just slide it right in, slide it all the way. It's got a line right there. I bring it right in the middle and tighten it up. And if we had feel-o-vision here, you would see that lines up absolutely perfect. Okay, So those are the new connectors. Yes, they're available separately than the kit, which is also important. So isn't the deflector, and yes, it works on all the rails or previous generation rails. So that's how you connect rails, and those come in the kit. Woo, man, doing good. So before we move on to the angle unit, we also have an extension accessory for that, which is wicked cool. I'm gonna step over here because I wanna talk about the new guide rails. Any questions? Good.
Why's it got a hole in the middle?
Well, there's a bunch of holes, okay? You're gonna notice, look, 2 countersunk holes here and 2 here. You have these 2 shorter holes in the center, and you have the long rail. So let's talk about the hip. One of the things we heard from you was, hey, I got a couple stacks of sustainers, and I still gotta carry this. How do I carry this? Well, that's what that center hole is. It fits over all our handles on all our generation, different generation sustainers. So now I could take this with another stack and go right on the job site. So that's what the center hole is. I'm gonna tell you what, maneuvering these around, it's like, I love that. It's a good handhold grab. We have them in 1400 millimeter, and we have them in 1900 millimeter. See that, Chris? 1900, whoop, whoop, whoop. Good. And it has the same hole configuration. Now, we used to see, and I've done this before, you're on a job site and you have to, I used to counterbore down here and up here, but that's what these counterbores are for. You can screw it into a wall, say you're cutting out some sheathing or whatever, you can just screw it there. But then we have these holes, and I'll show you what that's for. When you get the 1900 rail and the 1400 rail, you get a bag of these. Okay, and what are these? There's 30 of them in here. These are a consumable, and they're adhesive pads. Let me show you how they work. I'll grab a couple out of here like this. There's some great instructions with it. Okay, so you just take it like this, and you see these little nibs. See that? They just flop in there like that. You just got to bend them ever so slightly. You have these little tabs that help you pull them out, but it goes like this, and you just tap them in. Now, boy, I asked this question when I first saw them. How often can you reuse these? I'm going to tell you no, because I have been using these quite a bit, and when I don't want to mar the surface, say I'm cutting a countertop, okay? When you're cutting, there's going to be some dust that floats on the countertop. I used it on a piece of plywood recently. And I said, I'm going to test this. I'm going to see how long or how many cuts I can get after I maneuver these adhesive pads. I cut once, it really held. I cut the second time, and I had some sawdust on top of my plywood. So it all depends on how clean of that area you have. Now, I took one of these the other day, and I took it and I stuck it to the door. And Chris, how long? 48 hours? It was still up there? I had to peel it off. Now, that is just a test by me. I wouldn't leave a rail up on the door for very long, but this is perfect. I don't want to mar this door. I just take this, stick it to the door, right? And I could cut a tea light in there or a window, whatever you want to call it. Follow me? And I don't mar the door. So I'm going to do this really quick, because when you're plunge cutting, you should always use one of these. And this is called the limit stop. And I'm just going to put it in here, and I'm going to set it up just like this. And I want to show you what a limit stop is for. I'm going to take it like this, and I'm going to plunge cut here in a vertical position, and I'm going to take those adhesive strips and put them in here just like this. See that? That's how that works. Perfect. Okay, what a limit stop does is when I take my saw and put it on the rail now, you're going to notice this little ledge right here, right? On the saw, let me get this set up. Oh, cool. Wow. All right. I'm going to take it, get my power on there, set my depth, but on the saw, you're going to notice this. As I'm plunging with this TS55, if I didn't have a way of limiting it, it could kick on me a little because I'm taking that blade and plunging it into that plywood. So what that does is that nestles right in there, right? Okay? Ooh, make sure everything is tight on here. Okay, so I'm going to set my depth, which I have. It's 3/4 material, and that goes right there. So it prevents it from lifting up. It's a real nice safety feature. I'm going to make sure, and I'm just going to do a quick plunge cut so you can see that rail adhesive pad. Remember, when you put a plug-it cord, it's always a full quarter turn. I'm going to take it like this, set it up like this, get it right in there. Oh, make sure I'm all set. I'm going to make that plunge cut. You know what else I have to make sure?
Dust extractors.
That the dust extractor is plugged into the wall. Hey, right here, Garrett. Thank you, sir.
Garrett to the rescue.
Oh my God. Why didn't I have that plugged in? I was using it yesterday. Let me see if it's working. It's working. I even checked to see if it was on automatic. All right, so I'm just gonna take it like this. I'm gonna set it just like this. Actually, I'm gonna take my outside splinter guard as well. I'm gonna push that down there, maximize my dust extraction. And there you go, a perfect plunge cut. And if I want to take those adhesive pads off, I can just take them like this, and there's your perfect plunge cut. So hopefully you understand what the new adhesive pads are for. And what's really cool about this, you can take them, talk to your buddy and go, hey, how you doing? And put them on their back like that. And now he's got sergeant stripes. Okay, good. All right, we don't have the other camera that I usually see that looks cool. Garrett's back here. Show Garrett, he's losing it. Oh my God. Okay. You can also get more adhesive pads, just like this. It's a consumable. I'm always gonna say it's one time only.
Drop the part number in the comments.
Thank you very much on those part numbers. Okay. Next. I'm not going to break out the old angle unit because it used to drive me crazy because it didn't lock enough. Okay. This is a variable angle track saw square, if that's the right, it's an angle unit, but if that's the right way to describe it. You're gonna notice here's your locking knob. This is how it locks. I'm gonna show you how it goes on the rail. But in here, I want you to see these detents, okay? Because you have positive stops at all the popular angles. But I'm gonna bring it into 0 like this, and I'm going to make sure it goes in that detent, and I'm gonna lock it in. Whew, this is a fun one. I was so excited to use this. I'm going to slide it in like here, okay? You're gonna see this little T-nut. I'm gonna take it and rotate it, just like this. I'm gonna bring it in, and I'm gonna look in here. There's a little viewing windows or areas. I'll just bring it in there, up against there, and I'm gonna take this, and that locks it, okay? Because that's ground right in here to the rail. Now, what I always do is I chuck it up on the rail because I have rails back here that I've taken and I've set down and this dinged, okay? And when I lock this on here, it canted a little. So what I always do is I move it up to a nice area and just verify if there's any dings in my rail here. All right, so it's that simple, all right? There's a lot of times I just take it up, I want a 90, I bring it here and make a cut, and you see how I'm holding it? But, of course, we always make adjustments, or see that little notch in there? I could take that, and you see how I put the clamp in here like that? I'm gonna turn it over, and I can clamp that, just like that. Chris, you getting that? Mm-hmm. Always viewing that, good view? Good. And I can lock it in. Now, when I clamp it, I make sure it doesn't move off my material. And I'm just gonna swing over here, and grab my saw and make the cut. It's that simple, it really is. But I'll show you some other features on it in a moment. And there you go. But what if you want a 22-degree angle? I'm gonna remove my clamp, okay? I'm gonna take this clamp off. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna move it to 22.5, and I'm gonna lock it in. Now, I'm going to take it like this. I'll bring it right where I want that cut. And sometimes that notch underneath on the fence doesn't align exactly, and it's tough to get this in. So what I like to do, and that's why we have these notches, whether I go this way or swing it this way, you'll see the scale swings both ways. I'm just gonna lock it in, making sure my fence is up against there, and I can cut 22.5 wicked quick, just like this. And it's all locked in, nice and straight. So it's a variable angle rail clamp is the best way to describe that. So I'm gonna just loosen it up, take my clamp off, and show you a couple more things on here because everybody wants to know what these are. I'm just gonna bring it back to 0. The measurement here is, I believe, 12 millimeter. So I can actually take that and look, it sits right on top of your MFT and it doesn't bottom out on your MFT if I'm cutting 3/4. Now these, I've seen a few people struggle with them. You just push them off like this, okay? And what these are for, follow me over here, Chris. What if I'm cutting a countertop or a tabletop that has a big radius on it? Come over here so you can see this beautiful particle board countertop here that I got the other day. All right, so this is why you have those dogs. Watch, if I'm going like this, it stands a chance. There's not enough fence on there. It rolls up. So I could take these dogs, as I call them, and I can slip them in this channel. What this does, it extends the length of this. So now I have it fully supported and it's a really nice cut. Just take it like this, bring it in like this. You know what? I need to clean that up. I'm gonna make the cut. There we go. What's the thickness of that? Oh, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. You know what? I'll just go for it here. Bring this over. I'll use the cordless on this. Bring it right in. See how those pods are right up against there? It's truly supported. Take it, make the cut. My depth wasn't perfect, so I can come back. That's the beauty of the track saw, I think. I could take that at a little more depth and just clean that up. Look at that. There's no deviation because that track saw cuts right on that line. To this day, I'm still amazed at a track saw. Okay, wow, Garrett, you're writing a lot. Holy moly, are you already on the other side of the board writing? Mm-hmm. Holy macanoli. Oh, by the way, I want to shout out Minnie, we miss you. Minnie couldn't be here today. All right, slide these right back on because I'm going to show you a killer accessory for this. Let me get that in there like that. Okay, first of all, let me shift this board a little because this is a killer feature. Or this is an accessory that's available, and I have a little bit of explaining to do on this one. Okay? Now remember, I told you about the connection points, right? You have a stiffener and you have an expander, right? Okay. This is the extension for repetitive cuts with the rail clamp, right angle or variable angle. This is important, everybody. It comes with 2 of the stiffeners. It does not come with an expander, but it comes with 2 of these to put together. So the way it works is I take it like this, and pay attention to this one. Chris, come in here to get this. I know you did yesterday. In the end of the angle unit by the wing here, there is a 2 millimeter grub hex screw. Okay, when we look at that and then we come over here, remember, everything with Festool is calibratable, okay? Right here we have the scale. So say I'm on a job site, I've got my 90 on my boards, okay? I've ripped them, I've got them with the parallel guides and the FS Guide Rail system and the track saw. And then I need repeatable cuts. I've always suggested, hey, what? Get an MFT table. okay? Because say I'm doing 768 millimeter tall cabinets, right? That's divisible by 32. I have this set at 768 right here. I need not just one, I need several. So that's why it has this stop here that actually goes on here like this and actually supports itself on the board. So that's what that screw is for, right there, to calibrate the scale. So the way I do it, I'm just gonna take it like this. I tighten those 2 screws in there like this. I'm gonna take it like this, making sure it's up against that screw. And yes, yesterday, Chris and I were in here, and look at that line. I measured that. That's exactly 768 millimeters. So I'll take it like that, okay? I've adjusted my screw. It may be a little back and forth to make sure it's dead on that line to your happiness, as I always say, to your specifications. And then I take it, and once again, just like this, see how that's being held in place there? I just tighten up those screws, just like that. And those are 3 millimeter. So I just like to use these T's, hexes, but you can also use what? That little turn down end on that 5 millimeter. And now, all day long, I can make those 768 millimeter cuts with the new angle unit and the extension. So, I think I've explained everything. The only thing I'm going to say is right here, because of the ball detents, there is 2 5 millimeter screws here, and there's ability to adjust the 90 on there. So there you go. I just want to say everything at Festool is calibratable, and I just wanted to point that out. So I think that's it. Let me look. So hopefully you guys all know this. I have cheated notes over here to make sure I've covered everything, and I have. Wow, that's right on the time I thought we'd be at, right? We're doing good? Okay, so hopefully the new audio came through for everybody. We've been experimenting with a couple things that we had to experiment because of our on-the-road experiences coming up. We're going to be in Providence next week, but also, we're also going to be in Austin. I think toward the end of April, we're looking at also Portland, Oregon, right? And we're going to be somewhere in Indiana, I think later in the summer. But we're also going to be in 2 or 3 other places this fall. So we're really excited to come meet you. Please come out and meet us, because next week at 12 o'clock, you're going to see a brand new t-shirt that we're giving out for that hour of Festool Live. We have Festool Live t-shirts. We're really excited about that. They're coming in Monday, hopefully. Okay, so. Holy macanoli, look at all these people. I just got to look here really quick to see. Oh my God, Garrett keeps writing. Boy, hey, you know what, Garrett? You're doing a good job, man. You're giving Minnie a run. Okay, here we go, everybody. I want to call out from Plainfield, Indiana, Judah, and Selah. Richmond, Kentucky. Staten Island, New York. Mark at Woodcraft, Springfield, Virginia. You're always there. Hanover, New Hampshire. Yakult, Washington. Cinnaminson, New Jersey. How you doing, Rob? Man, you were there early with us today. Austin, Texas. We're coming to see you. Enfield, Connecticut. Hi, Andy. HFF. You know what HFF is? Happy Festool Friday. Hey. All right. Zionsville, Chicago, Illinois. Oh, my God. Come on. Chicago, Illinois. Illinois, it has an S. I'm just kidding. Chicago, Illinois. Waseca, West Wheatfield. Richmond, Washington. Harrogate, England. Suwanee, Lincote, England. Bellevue, Nebraska. Is that Nebraska? He doesn't listen to me. Caryville, Texas. Salt Lake City, Utah. Toledo, Ohio. Fayetteville, Georgia. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Fenton, Michigan. How you doing, Marvin Martin? Edmonton, Dayton, Ohio, Eatonton, Georgia. How you guys doing? You're always there with us. Clarksburg, Maryland, Tinley Park, Illinois, Dougsville, Georgia, Bahamas, Caldwell, Ohio, Sun City, West Arizona. You're always with us, Sun City. Thank you. Bermuda. You know, Minnie's a much better speller than you. Okay. Bottle Creek, Michigan. Springfield, New Hampshire. Yolarvi, Finland. The Netherlands. Southern California. St. Louis. Harlem, Georgia. LA. LA, is that Los Angeles?
Yes.
Lower Alabama? Or Lewiston, Auburn, Maine. Okay, Batavia, Ohio, Las Vegas, Newark, Ohio, Boucherville, Quebec, Canton, Connecticut, Akron, Ohio, Eden, New York, Atco, New Jersey. That's Johnny O. Anderson, Indiana, Mount Doro, Florida. Hey, you guys ever been to Mount Doro? They call it the New England of the South. This is the most wonderful little town just north of Orlando. I love Mount Doro. We used to vacation up there. Okay, Naples, Portland, Oregon, Vienna, Austria, Chichester, I know who that is. Rochester, Michigan, Ontario, Canada, is that Suntan Valley, Arizona? Man, that's what you saw? Warsaw, Poland, Christopher from Malta. All right, good to see you there, Chris. Thailand. Hey, is that the first time we had somebody from Thailand? I think maybe. How you doing, Thailand?
Twice.
Twice? There's two? It's a two back from Thailand. Raymond, Maine, Buzzard Bay, Cape Cod. I love that, Buzzard Bay. Okay, there's another one there. I think it's Wales, Belgium, Novato, California. You know who that is? That's Blake Weber. Steamwood, Illinois. Richland, Virginia. You like that, don't you? Good. You like, all right, I have too much fun with you guys. Okay, Mechanicsville, Virginia, Imlay, Michigan, Whitestone, New York, Morehead City, North Carolina, South Africa, Mike from Cardwell, Jefferson City, Missouri. See how I got it? Okay, there you go. Houston, Texas, Middlesex, North Carolina, Bellevue, Ontario, Minneapolis, Cincinnati, Holland, Innisfil, Ontario, Marome, Michigan, Queen Creek, Arizona, Zanesville, Ohio, West Unity, Ohio, Haverhill, Mass. Everybody else in here, Haverhill, Mass, we'll call it Haverhill. It's Haverhill. Okay. Leesburg, Virginia, East Yorkshire, Bel Air, Maryland. Is that the prince from Bel Air, Maryland? Probably. Austin, Texas. That means we got a two-pack from Austin. Lease, Italy. Medellin, Colombia. Wow. Akka, Finland. Wow, I can't believe it, man. It's the end. Hey, I did that pretty quick today, didn't I?
You did.
Not bad. Garrett, that's it?
Yep.
That's a wrap, sir? Okay, everybody. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. There was a lot to cover. That accessory kit, all the new accessories, consumables for the guide rails are wicked. I think it's one of our biggest hits this spring here in the States and in also Canada. There's probably a lot of people who've been using this stuff already around the world. Everything that I've touched out of that, I love. So, in saying all of that, hopefully it wasn't too confusing for everybody. From everybody in this room, Brent, thank you. You're always online with us. We really appreciate all your help. From all of you out there that watch every week, or maybe you watch it on the weekend because you can't make it. I'm going to say something. I say this every time. We love you folks. Thank you for tuning in. We got so much planned for this year and next year and going forward. Holy macanoli, that's another Festool Friday wrap, a Festool live wrap. Happy Festool Friday, and make sure everybody has a safe weekend. We'll see you next Friday from Providence, Rhode Island. Woo!